Which leads us now to the final show that I guess we force ourselves to watch.
The GOAT, if you will.
The GOAT. The classic.
I think the MILF Manor is worse than this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think so for me.
Yeah.
This one hurt the most.
So Euphoria is one of the most like infamous anime
absolutely.
that has I should say hentai that has been released.
It's a visual novel first.
Yeah,
right?
it was a visual novel first. And I remember like watching this. Like this was that one anime that everyone recommended to you if you were like online back in like 2000, like the mid 2000s anime.
It started with Boku no Pico.
Yeah.
And after that, craze died down.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, all right, we got to find another one to troll the unexpected with.
Yeah.
And then some genius was like, so I found this show called Euphoria.
Yeah, still one of my favorite Twitter threads to this day is the first time that Sydney discovered Euphoria. This was back before she did YouTube. This was back before she was the queen of degeneracy.
Yeah.
I remember one day she was just we were in Sydney's room and she was like, "Have you heard of this thing called Euphoria?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Why do you say that, honey?
Why do you ask?
Why'd you ask? And she was like, "People keep recommending it to me. Why do people keep recommending it to me?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a pretty infamous anime, and it's a pretty infamous game as well." And she goes, "Oh, why is it infamous?" And I was like, "Don't worry about it, honey."
Yeah.
And then then she decides out of like curiosity, "Oh, I'll just download the visual novel and play the visual novel." And I'm just like, "You should tweet your live thoughts on it, honey. Let's see what you think."
Yeah.
And
She played the visual novel.
yeah, she played the visual
Isn't that
novel.
shit like 30 hours long?
It's longer than that.
Yeah.
I've played it as well.
Yeah,
It's
so-
like,
Played it?
yeah, I got curious, man.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
Is it supposed to make sense from the anime alone?
No.
Because I swear, bro, I tried and I don't know what was happening.
Bro, I've watched this so many times, more than
Yeah.
I'm
You've
proud.
played it, right? Does
I've
the
played
game make
ga-
sense?
No.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Like, it's not supposed to make... I'm not dumb. Like, it's
Yeah.
not supposed to make sense.
I guess in the creators' minds, it's supposed to make sense, but like, I played the visual novel, I've seen the hentai more times than I'm proud to say, and I'm just like, still don't get it.
Yeah.
I understood Serial Experiments Lane better than
So
I did
I
Euphoria.
managed to figure out in the second episode that I was kind of watching different endings.
Kind of
It's
different,
different routes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like it was like the abridged version of the routes and then the ending. That
Kind of, yes.
It was weird because it was
Yeah.
like I was like, man, I feel like we're just going through the motions, and it's also not clear what's happening a lot of the time.
Technically speaking, it's like the first 4 episodes are the different routes you can go on with like
Yeah.
the different girls. And then episode 5 is the bad end. And episode 6, which is the final episode, is the true end.
I thought it was the other way around.
I thought it was the other way
I
around.
the other way around?
thought episode 5 was the better of the two.
I thought every episode had the good end for each girl.
Yeah.
And sometimes the bad. I don't know. It's
I
like
don't, to be honest, I don't remember.
yeah. So to explain the basic premise of this.
Yeah, I guess we should do that.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should do that before we get into like theories.
We're going to break it down today,
And
guys.
that's just a theory, a euphoria theory. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for jacking.
So it's very, very similar to, I guess, any kind of like Death Game or Saw or that kind of premise, okay? It's hentai Squid Game.
No, it's hentai saw,
It's hentai Saw. It is.
but more deranged.
So, So what happens is this guy wakes up in a completely white room with, I think, like 4 or 6 girls?
Five girls,
Oh,
yeah.
actually,
5 girls.
6 originally.
Okay.
And then one of them refuses to participate.
Oh, yeah,
that's
with,
right, yeah.
With 6 girls. And he basically has to get out of this room by performing various acts to a girl of his choosing. And obviously, some of these acts can range from, I was going to say pretty vanilla stuff. Pretty, like, comparatively light stuff like, oh, just put on a sexy like BDSM outfit and go hard. And some
Just saw contraptions.
some just saw contraptions like, oh, just be a human toilet. And I'm
Yeah.
not going to explain what that is, but you
Yeah, they really glossed over that in the fucking show.
That's
yeah.
episode 2, baby.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
And if they don't do it, then they die. So
Yeah, so they all have these collars, I guess.
That are mind control.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which mind control, and also I guess if I remember correctly, like if they don't do what the master, you know, the game master says, then like I think they explode or they like cut your head off or something. It's something like that. Basically, yeah, they have this thing that's attached to their neck that they can't get rid of. So they're basically at the will of the game master.
Yeah. So before we get too deeply into this, how many episodes did you watch of Euphoria?
I sat down and actually watched fully 1 and 6, but I skimmed through all of them. So like I sat there and I was like, okay, all right, get it, all right, okay.
All right.
So I kind of watched most of it.
I mean, you didn't watch episode 5, which
I did watch episode 5, and I was very confused.
yeah.
Okay, episode 5 is actually like I watch, because I actually ended up rewatching all of it because I watched episode 1 and I'm like, I need to refresh myself. I watched episode 5 and I was like, am I just like, has it just been a super long time since I watched this? Maybe I just need to watch the previous episodes for context. So I ended up watching every episode. I was like, that didn't help at all.
No.
Like, holy shit, episode 5, I think, is the end of ℓ𝖎𝖎 for hentai. Like, this shit made no sense. This shit made no sense.
And it was like, in one episode, certain characters were evil and good.
Yeah.
And the next episode, they would swap. And I was like, why? Can we explain these things?
Yeah.
And it was just bad.
Yeah.
Like, it was just shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think it was like as gross as some other stuff. Like, I think the Maid Mansion one was grosser for me.
It was, but I think the one thing that to this day, no matter how many times I watch it, that just pisses me off about Euphoria is that, god damn, it's so well animated.
Yeah.
Well, the first episode and the second episode were okay.
No,
but then it went off a cliff.
No, they were all well animated.
I thought it was worse animation at the end.
I thought it was pretty good.
It's pretty consistent. all the way
Episode 3,
through.
a damn good animation.
Yeah.
I think here's the fucked up thing, right? Here's the fucked up thing. Obviously the premise is fucked up and everything.
Of course.
Okay, there are some scenes that is just not safe for life. I will not touch with a 10-foot barge pole. The worst thing about Euphoria is that every so often they'll sprinkle in what I think is actually pretty good scene.
Like what? Give me an example. Give me an example.
Like what?
Like, yeah, it's an example of a scene.
There is a scene at the end of like episode 3 where it's like the main guy and the girl with like the emotionless girl, right?
Oh yes,
the
yes.
Westerner one.
The Westerner one, yeah, and they just have like, I would say, a pretty vanilla sex scene.
Is that the one in the bed, right?
With the
bedroom.
with the bedroom?
Yeah,
and and I'm like, damn, she goes from being
it's not the Western one. It's the other one.
It's the long haired girl, like
yeah, and then
Yeah.
she gets like pregnant and shit.
Okay.
yeah.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. No. This was before I found out the plot twist of who this girl was.
Yeah.
But let's no. All I'm saying.
Oh, I
is,
just realized who she was
Yeah.
because I connected the dots to what they said in the last episode.
Yeah, she's the girl in episode 3.
Yeah.
Wait, that's like, how many years apart is that then?
Okay.
That's just a theory.
Wait, so how many years are they trapped in this fucking sex game? Like,
we don't know.
Like 10 fucking years?
I don't think it's ever stated.
Yeah, it's never stated.
What I don't get is that, like, this dude is the embodiment of, like, there are two wolves inside of me. And except both the wolves want to do our word to people.
Yes.
This dude is literally Ken Kaneki if he was a hentai protagonist, you know?
It's like, it was so confusing all the time, figuring out what was real and what wasn't.
Yeah.
Because it would be like, this is real. No, this wasn't. This was real. No, this is what.
Yeah, they try to do like a Millennium Actress thing where it's just like, you don't know if it's real or not.
Yeah.
It was so shit. It was shit. I don't even, they like, it was just boring. It was boring as well.
I actually thought there was...
I wouldn't say it's boring.
I wouldn't say it's... I thought there was some scenes I thought was pretty... I really liked Nemu. I don't know why.
The first episode girl.
The first episode girl. So
Yeah, but I mean, isn't she in all of them?
she's not the main focus of all.
Right.
Yeah,
You liked her in the first episode.
Yeah.
It's episode 1 and episode 5. She's like the main.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember first time watching Euphoria. I'm like, man, she has a shit-eating grin, and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't mean it literally. I was not prepared for.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, God, what the fuck?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
episode 5, they do like what I can only describe as human centipede.
Oh, this Euphoria did Human Centipede like years before Human Centipede became like a meme.
Yeah.
And
I definitely skipped over that.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I think I saw a glimpse of it, and I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Not even gonna watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I don't know why the story became so confusing. But the basic premise is in every episode, there's a different girl with a different, who I'm guessing they follow a different route. Yeah. And sometimes you get a happy ending, and sometimes you get a glimpse of the bad endings as well. But then they decide to put both in one episode, and that was what was confusing to me.
Yeah, it's really fucking confusing.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
Because then in episode 6, they bring out this like cult?
Sex cult. Like comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You're like, actually above ground is where we have the cult, and below ground is where you guys are. And
See,
what?
See, I thought being a Fate fan, I can keep track of convoluted timelines. And I watch Euphoria and I'm like, oh, I know nothing.
Did this only get like popular because of the centipede thing?
No, it got popular, I think, because I think like when you look at just the surface of it, the art is really nice. The character designs are really nice.
Yeah.
The premise is like, I think when Euphoria came out, there was very few hentai that had a premise as just openly as fucked up as that.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
One thing I'll say, because a lot of the hentai we watched today for this episode, they were like 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I was like rewatching all of Euphoria, I was like, God damn, I miss when hentai were 1, half an hour in length, and 2 were like more than 2 episodes.
Yeah, rewatching all of Euphoria after all the other ones we watched was like watching the fucking Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, God damn, this is long.
It was too long. It was way too long.
Like, 3 hours of this show?
I wanted
Jesus.
to end 10 minutes in. I was like, God. No, stop.
Still got 2.5 hours of this shit.
Why?
Did you not even like the teacher at all?
The teacher was, you fucker. You knew I was going to like the teacher. I thought the teacher was the most appealing to me, but it's just weird. I didn't want to, he didn't deserve it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know about that.
Yeah. What do you mean he didn't deserve it?
As in, like, he didn't deserve any able to do anything. He should have just died, like, right away.
Well,
would have been a lot shorter.
It wouldn't have been a story at all.
It would have been good. Would have been ended. Maybe he'd have been like, you know what? I respect these women. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And then they just all die, and it's like, cool.
Yeah,
Better than what happened.
So what I think was like the weirdest plot twist was actually in episode 6 where we go to the sex cults, because we had like the human centipede thing, and obviously that's fucked up. I don't know why they decided to put that in, but obviously, like I believe the human centipede was made as a concept because they were thinking about how best to punish like sexual predators or something like that.
Right.
So the fact that someone in Japan made this to think that people would jack off to this, that disturbs me more.
Yeah.
That disturbs me more. And then in episode 6, we find out that one of the girls who he has been having sex with, the one in episode 3, turns out that she's the daughter of the leader of this sex cult who the main guy impregnated years ago. So essentially, this girl is just his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This girl is just his daughter.
And now that I realize that literally just like 5 minutes ago, it's so nasty, that episode.
And it's extra disturbing to think that episode 3, which involves the daughter, is probably the most wholesome episode in the entire series.
It is probably the most wholesome episode and the one where you get the most vanilla sex scene, and you're just like, oh, wait, oh no, oh god.
But then it also confused me when I found out about that plot, and I was thinking back to episode 3 and like all the other previous episodes, and I'm like, how old is this dude?
It doesn't make any fucking
He looks
it makes no sense.
He looks 15.
Yeah, it doesn't. It literally makes no sense chronologically.
Yeah, like
it's not possible.
Did he fuck her in a hyperbolic time chamber? Like what?
Yeah.
Like that's the only explanation.
Maybe they're in a world where like boys start puberty at age 1. I don't understand how this is like it doesn't make fucking sense, and I'm glad it doesn't because it's fucking stupid.
See what I was thinking. Here's my.
I had paused it and started doing the math. I was like, it doesn't matter.
Here's my theory. Okay, here's my theory, because there's this really weird. They do a fucking Marvel post-credit scene in episode 2, which is I don't know why.
See this.
Yeah, probably because you skipped it. They did this really weird thing in at the end of episode 2, where Nemu comes in dressed like a scientist, and one of the girls in like a virtual reality, like got a VR headset on,
Right.
and it kind of frames the entire thing as like an experiment.
Right.
So maybe all this thing is just happening in his mind. Maybe all this
VR.
thing is a VR experiment.
Does that make it less fucked up, or is it still fucked up? Because they still animated it.
Okay. It's still fucked up
It's still
because
fucked
you know why? Because like they frame episode 6, they frame the entire episode as a good ending.
Which is
a
weird.
wholesome ending. And do you know what the fucking good ending is? He has 2 children with his daughter. That is the good ending.
Yeah.
That is the vanilla ending. That is the vanilla ending of Euphoria. And I don't know if that's if that's vanilla. What the hell is the bad ending? Is what I
It
want to
felt
know.
like a hentai plot written by a 4chaner, and it somehow just got like approved. Like that's what it felt like. Like it felt like a rookie. I don't know. Maybe it's good because when I was looking on YouTube, I was like, I need someone to explain this. Somebody had like a 45-minute video being like, why Euphoria is actually a masterpiece.
Yeah, like it wasn't.
And I was
it
like,
wa-
fuck off.
It wasn't. I didn't even count it as like the good ending. It's just the lesser bad ending,
Yeah.
right? Or I guess the true ending. I don't know.
I'll say the episode that pissed me off the most. Episode 5, which you kind of skimmed through.
Yeah. Well, I saw the ending of that,
Yeah.
and I was like, what?
Yeah, so episode 5 genuinely this is why it's the end. Like this is why it's the end of Aether of like hentai, because this dude is literally Shinji. Okay, this dude is literally Shinji. So what happens is like in episode 5, they reveal, I guess, who the main mastermind of the games are.
Yeah.
And so she comes out, she reveals herself, and she's like,
Because they escape.
yeah, because
They somehow one of the tiles is loose, and there's an underground tunnel. They get out, and they get
Yeah.
into a school.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
she reveals herself.
She reveals herself, and she's like, I'll give you the option. You either kill me or kill Nemu, who is the main girl of that show,
Yeah.
or all of the other girls die. And I'm going to continue killing people until you choose to either kill me or kill that girl.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want to.
And it's the childhood friend, right?
Yeah. It's the
of
childhood
main
friend.
character.
It's the childhood friend.
It's like
It's the girl in episode
Yeah.
2.
So
Yeah.
you could either kill a murderer or somebody who's not a murderer.
Yeah.
And it was literally just the fucking Shinji get in the robot moment of just like, just do it.
I'm like,
fucking do it.
the choice is so obvious no matter who you ask.
Yeah.
And he just happens to pick the worst choice.
He picks the worst choice of doing nothing. And then what happens is that she proceeds to take out his 3 of the other girls, and she just decapitates them.
Yeah.
In front of him. And then he's still like, no, I'm not gonna do it. No, I'm not gonna do it.
You're still my childhood friend.
We've been good friends. This is not the girl you are. I know you're
I
better
can fix you.
and then they proceed to do the human centipede thing. And
Yeah.
then the worst part is he fucking ejaculates during the human centipede moment. That was a missed. That was a moment that I had blacked out from my memory.
And then after that, the girl drugs the main guy and Nemu
yeah,
with some kind of like sex crazed drug or something.
yeah,
And then at the end of it all, he just snaps her neck mid-sex, and I'm like, dude,
I didn't see this part.
Yeah.
every option you have done this entire way has just gotten worse and worse and worse.
There was one scene I was confused by where,
Yeah.
like, I think she shot Nemu with
Yeah.
an imaginary gun or something, and she just dies.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay,
Teacher-
yeah. The
teacher
teacher.
has, like,
Yeah.
They're trying to escape.
Yeah.
She pulls out a gun, like a finger gun. They're like, haha. And then it cuts to another shot of her holding a gun. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's all a simulation.
That's
right?
why I was like, this is some virtual reality
Yeah.
shit going on, man. I was waiting for that big plot twist drop, and then it just never happened.
No,
Oh,
they
shit,
gave
yeah.
us the plot twist drop, but they just didn't explain the twist.
was
Yeah.
shit. It was so
I
shit.
think the reason why this got so popular is because back in the day, this was just at the time one of the most messed up hentai that was available, and also really one thing is that, you know, we are shitting on the story, but they actually had they put a lot of thought into this story.
They
it was
It just
shit.
didn't go in the right place.
It was
Yeah.
shit, but
The effort was there, the execution was not.
I remember the first. Do you know my first experience with Euphoria? It wasn't even like I didn't start with episode 1. It was actually episode 3, and I remember like looking at the art style. I was like, oh, this looks pretty good. All right. Let's see what this is about. Clicks an episode of this video, which turns out to be episode 3 of Euphoria. I got clickbaited by the fucking thumbnail. I was like, oh, okay, let's see what this is about. The first scene is a girl getting decapitated. And I have never, my penis has never gone flaccid so fast. Holy shit.
Dude, you just got LimeWire.
Yeah, I did.
It just starts with, I've not had sex with you.
And that was my very first experience with Euphoria. So,
I'm so
like
sorry.
that was like, so after that, I wasn't even in the mood anymore, but I needed to Google what the fuck this was.
Yeah.
And that's how I discovered.
And still talked about to this day, man.
And it is still talked about to this day as one of the most infamous visual novels and anime to be made. The thing I will say is that I feel like now the visual novel is still like way worse. Yeah. So I feel like they glossed over some of the most messed up scenes from the visual novel.
I'm good.
Like the human toilet, and
because there are multiple human toilet scenes.
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm gonna skip the visual novel.
Don't bother. Don't bother.
Yeah, don't.
This is the one time where I'm jealous you don't like visual novels.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? If I hated it just as much as you, I probably would have.
Where do you even get this visual novel? Like, I assume Steam isn't selling it.
It's like, yo, there was an 80% off on Euphoria, dog.
Yeah, like I assume this is not like readily available. How did you even get this?
Oh, it's legally available.
What?
Yeah,
I think Sydney owns an official copy, and I think you can download it legally as well if you're interested. Just watch Sydney's video of Euphoria.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
There's a lot of websites that sell like even really old like erogaze and visual novels that are properly licensed by the creators, but it's all just like digitally. That's how I got my hands on most of them. So I paid for mine, and that's what I got. So
yeah.
Sheesh.
Did you know what I've realized after watching all of these hentai?
I can't jack off anymore.
Apart from that, yes.
What?
I just like I want an actual protagonist that is like interesting, for fuck's sake. Every protagonist that in these hentais are like the biggest betas of all time. The biggest herbivores.
Can't we just have like Johnny Sins just star in one of these hentai?
Yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
I want a Chad who is likable.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Because every Chad in hentai is just the NTR.
The most detestable human.
Yeah, the NTR guy.
Yeah.
Like the only hentai I can think of that's I mean, I don't know if I'd call him a Chad, but at least he's like at least mildly charming. Is Rance?
Oh yeah, Rance is the closest we'll get to a protagonist where I'm like,
yeah,
you know what?
He's an ass. He's still an asshole.
You're an asshole, but
you know what?
God damn, you're a lovable asshole.
Yeah.